The woman fainted at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Then she began to fall. As the feeling of weightlessness came over her, the woman instantly woke up. She tried to grab the ropes of the hot air balloon, but it was too late. When the woman woke up again, she was horrified to find herself suspended in midair. The safety rope had saved her. At this point, the temperature was close to minus 40 degrees Celsius. If this continued, she would eventually freeze to death. Then the woman remembered her companion in the gondola. However, her companion had already fallen unconscious. The woman knew she had to rely on herself, so she constantly swung her legs, trying to get closer to the gondola. After several attempts, she finally grabbed the gondola. However, the danger was not over. At this time, the hot air balloon was at an altitude of nearly 13,000 meters. The surface of the hot air balloon was covered with ice and snow, which prevented the exhaust valve from opening properly. The only way was to climb up and manually release the air. So, at an altitude of 10,000 meters, the woman climbed up the rope little by little, with a bottomless abyss below her. The slightest mistake would result in her being shattered to pieces. After climbing for an unknown amount of time, the woman finally reached the side of the hot air balloon. Her hands were already numb. She wanted to grab a nearby rope, but the distance was too great. At this time, the woman was severely hypoxic, and her consciousness gradually began to blur. But thinking of her companion, whose fate was unknown, she instantly regained her senses. The hot air balloon was still rising, and she didn't have much time. The woman tied the rope around her waist, and then she started climbing again. After countless hardships, the woman finally climbed to the top of the balloon, and she was almost exhausted. She hit the valve with her elbow, but the ice layer was too thick to break, so she carefully stood up. To prevent the valve from closing, she took off her shoes and jammed the valve open. As the hot air balloon began to descend slowly, her companion gradually regained consciousness. But suddenly, the woman noticed the snowflakes falling in front of her. The speed of descent was getting slower and slower, and even stopped in midair.